Okay, today is Tuesday, September 24th, and today I learned something that I might have talked about in a previous video, but I kind of just relearned it through different experiences and I just wanted to talk about it. And that is to not overcomplicate things. There are two aspects that I wanted to talk about with overcomplicating things. One of them has to do with self-improvement, so like the stuff that I'm talking about, and then the other one is going to be a rant, basically. The first one, in which you should not overcomplicate things, is with self-improvement, because I feel like there can be a sort of negative connotation to self-improvement, because there are like all those like hustle culture people. And I don't know, you see a lot of videos that are like why you shouldn't be watching self-improvement videos and why you shouldn't be doing that kind of thing. And I think it all just boils down to people overcomplicating things and getting too deep with it. I was watching a video and he was talking about time management stuff and like focus and that kind of thing. And he was saying how his day was consumed by all the good habits, like reading and meditation and exercise and like journaling and all that kind of thing. So this guy's day was basically consumed with all of the self-improvement habits that people talk about. And that just completely goes against what I feel like the core purpose of self-improvement. Because if you think about it, self-improvement is meant to improve yourself. But if it is keeping you from improving yourself, then it's not actually helpful. Like, some of these habits that you see videos about, like journaling or meditating or whatever, they are helpful for some people, but I don't think everybody has to do them. And although there are universal benefits, some things are just not for the same people, and they don't necessarily directly help you improve your life, specifically for you. I don't know. Basically, what I'm just trying to say is that people overcomplicate it, and they have their 2-hour-long morning routine, and they have all of these habits filling up their day instead of just doing what they actually need to do. And I feel like that just defeats the whole purpose. So, if you are watching these kinds of videos, like my kind of videos, like the self-improvement, like habits and time management and all that kind of stuff, just make sure that you are not overcomplicating it, and if you ever want to apply something to your life, make sure it actually improves your life. And make sure you're not just doing it just 'cause. Like, you can experiment with those different things. You can experiment with meditating, you can experiment with journaling, but you don't have to, if it works for you, then you can incorporate it into your day, but you don't have to like constantly be stacking up all of these habits. Just stop overcomplicating it. Do the things that improve you as a person in your productivity sense, in your personal sense, in your social sense, in your, like, all the different aspects of you. Make sure it's actually improving that part of you. And make sure it's not like, don't do things just to do them. Don't do things just because someone says that you have to. You can experiment with doing that thing, but don't just do it just 'cause. Do it because it actually helps you. So yeah, don't overcomplicate self-improvement. The whole point of self-improvement is to improve yourself. So if you get those, if you are adding something to your day or your routine because you know it genuinely improves yourself, and because you have tested it before and you like actually know it helps you, then yeah, that is when it is helpful. But it's so contradictory to the core of self-improvement if you fill up your day with only those things. I hope I'm making sense. Yeah, just don't overcomplicate self-improvement. Do the things that you know work, and do those things a lot. I guess that's kind of the core of self-improvement. Do the things that you know work and do them a lot. Whether that's a habit, such as reading or meditating or whatever, if that works for you, then perfect. Or whether that is you're trying to improve an aspect, a specific aspect of you, or like a skill or something. Find the routine, find the thing that works, and do that thing a lot. Right now, that's what I'm doing for my For my softball, I have a routine that I know works, and I'm just doing it a lot. So that is kind of the core of self-improvement. Find what works and do a lot of it. And don't overcomplicate things. You don't have to have all these crazy systems and routines and things that are just wasting your time. Do what you know works and do it a lot. That's the first thing that you can't overthink. And the second thing about overthinking and overcomplicating things is kind of about problem solving. I've been talking about problem solving quite a bit recently, and also just about thinking logically, because I have a few core steps that I'm actually going to put in a Notion template, so stay tuned for that. But I have a few core steps for improving yourself, basically, or learning a skill or improving a skill or something like that. And one of those things is when you're stuck, basically. When you're stuck, or if you're just trying to understand something better, just be logical about it. When you're stuck, think what is causing this problem? How can I remove that? Be logical about that. Just go through it step by step. Or if you're trying to understand something better, just ask what, why, how, and just try to understand where is this coming from? How does this relate to other topics? Just be logical about it. I think it is very important to just be logical about things, because people aren't logical. So just be logical. Use your brain. Just a little bit. Use your brain. Be logical when trying to solve problems, or something like that. So when you're improving yourself, as an example, when you're improving yourself, you're trying to learn a skill. Think, okay, if I'm trying to learn a skill, what is the most logical way to get there? Well, I would think, first of all, where do I want to be, right? So who can I model after? And then once I know my goal, where do I want to be? What are the steps to get there? I don't know, just be logical about things. But how this relates to overthinking is because I guarantee you that you can overthink your logic. So don't overthink your logical thinking. Don't ask too many questions, just get the necessary ones. And you don't have to. I like doing this for certain things. I like breaking things down, but you don't have to break down everything. And I am telling you this because today I had an English class and we were talking about logic. And it was the most overcomplicated workshop of logic that I have ever experienced. It was so overcomplicated. Some of you might know what a syllogism is. It's kind of like A equals B and B equals C, therefore A equals C, that kind of thing. And it was so overcomplicated. All the different terms and all the different pieces of the phrases and the propositions and the different types of it's completely overcomplicated. Just use your brain. Just be smart about it. Just think, what is the logical conclusion to this fact? Or what is needed to come up with that conclusion? Just use your brain. You don't have to overcomplicate every single thing. Now, if you're struggling with that, then you can break things down and then you can try to organize your thoughts a little better. But most often, you don't need to do that every single time. So please don't, because it is just a waste of time. If you could just ask the right questions and think of cause and effect, really. I feel like logic is all about cause and effect. If you can just think of the right conclusions or the necessary pieces, the necessary causes, the most logical effect conclusion, if you can just think that way, then you can think logically. You don't need to break it all down into major term, minor term, middle term, and the copula, and the predicate nominative, and you don't need to do that. Just use your brain. Just use your brain. So, that is my rant about overcomplicating things. Your action points for today is to not overcomplicate things that don't need to be overcomplicated. Don't overcomplicate your self-improvement. Just think about the word self-improvement. The whole point is to improve yourself. So find what works and do a lot of it within any aspect of self-improvement. And then the second thing about overcomplicating self-improvement is to be logical about it when you're trying to solve a problem or trying to understand something better. Just think like, what is the cause to this effect? That is a question that I love asking myself. What is the cause to this effect? So just ask the right questions. Maybe I'll make a video about all the questions that have helped me, all the logical questions that have helped me. So maybe I'll make a video about that. But just ask the right questions. What is the cause to this effect? Be logical about it. But you do not need to break every single piece down, because one, it is way too overwhelming and it overcomplicates things. Just find the one conclusion that makes sense and use that to improve yourself. I hope I'm making sense. If you liked this video, if you want to see more, then definitely subscribe, because I am posting every single day daily insights videos where I basically just talk about what I learned that day and how I'm implementing it into my life and how you guys can implement it into yours. So yeah, if you want to see that kind of thing, then subscribe. And if you subscribe, then I will see you tomorrow. Bye.